Italy has set in motion a deliberate rebuild of its high-end maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare tier, betting on a compact but capable fleet of maritime multi-mission aircraft that will close the gap left when the BR-1150 Atlantic retired. Framed in the 2025 to 2027 defense planning document and backed by front-loaded funding, the program centers on 6 aircraft designed from the outset to hunt submarines, challenge hostile surface activity, and serve as a mobile intelligence node over the Mediterranean's busiest approaches. It is an unambiguous statement of intent. Rome wants persistent custody of the undersea and surface picture across its near seas and the maritime corridors that connect the Central Med to the Levant and the Red Sea, and it wants it soon. The urgency shows up in the money and the timeline. A substantial tranche is earmarked for 2025, supplemented by a dedicated integration line and a multi-year tail that carries the effort through completion and sustainment. That profile telegraphs a sprint-then-steady approach, accelerating platform selection and mission system integration early, then pacing the buildup of training, weapons clearance, and logistics so the aircraft can move from initial surveillance tasks to full-spectrum prosecution. It also reflects political consensus around Mediterranean security at a time when subsea pipelines, interconnectors, and data cables have become targets and potential leverage points for state and non-state actors. The aircraft themselves are scoped as true multi-role patrol platforms rather than narrow ASuW specialists. Requirements call for deep-water anti-submarine warfare and anti-surface warfare, certainly, but also for above-water warfare contributions, mine warfare support, and a broad suite of multi-INT functions, intelligence collection, surveillance, target acquisition, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare. That breadth matters. In a region where small diesel-electric boats, covert logistics, and gray-zone surface activity can blend, a single fleet able to sense, classify, and queue across domains compresses decision time and reduces the seams that adversaries exploit. When armed, the same airframes can deliver effects directly. When operating in an intelligence posture, they become the high-duty backbone of maritime picture compilation. Italy's starting point is not a blank slate. 4P-72A, ATR-72MP, aircraft at Sigonella have provided maritime surveillance, search and rescue, and border security support with a modern mission system, EO/IR sensors, ESM, and surface search radar. Those assets have been indispensable, but they were never intended to replace the Atlantic's blue water ASuW teeth. Closer to the fleet, the Navy's NH90 NFH and AW101/SH-101 helicopters deliver dipping sonar, sonobuoy processing, and lightweight torpedoes from frigates and other escorts, anchoring the inner layer of an ASuW screen. The new fixed-wing tier will stretch that protective bubble, finding and fixing contacts at range, feeding tracks back into command networks, and, when authorized, pressing attacks with appropriate weapons. What will make or break the concept is how M3A plugs into Italy's expanding C6 ISTER EW architecture. The Air Force's G550 CAEW platforms with EL/W 2085 radar already provide wide-area detection and command and control, while additional G550-based electronic attack variants contracted with L3 Harris and BAE systems are adding electronic effects to the toolset. M3A is designed to be a high-tempo node inside that web, a platform that not only absorbs tasking and shares data at machine speed but also translates indications from space, cyber, and high-altitude ISR into actionable localization on the sea. When a cable shows an anomaly or a wide-area radar cues a suspicious pattern, a patrol aircraft that can sort the acoustic picture, classify contacts, and hand off a firing solution to a helicopter or frigate becomes the critical hinge in the kill chain. The alliance dimension is equally important. NATO has recentered attention on maritime security in the south, from sea lines of communication to the protection of undersea infrastructure and the monitoring of hybrid activity at choke points. A 6-aircraft Italian fleet sized for high availability can keep near continuous orbits over priority boxes. Think the Tyrrhenian-Ionian seam, the waters south of Sicily, and the lanes funneling toward Suez, without burning out crews. Standardization around modern acoustic processing and MU-90 class torpedoes will tighten interoperability with Allied ships and submarines, while link-enabled data sharing with CAEW, electronic warfare aircraft, and NATO AGS shrinks the interval from detection to action. Distributing premium maritime patrol capacity more evenly across the alliance also reduces strategic risk from overconcentration in the North Atlantic. Industrial and technological currents run in the program's favor. Italy is investing in large autonomous underwater vehicles that can expand unmanned ISR and contribute to ASuW search, creating a natural manned-unmanned teaming construct where the patrol aircraft detects and localizes, dispatches an AUV to persist and refine, and then either directs a helicopter for attack or retains the engagement itself. The mission system challenge is non-trivial. Fusing acoustic, electronic, radar, and electro-optical data in real time and across coalition networks is hard, but Italy's recent modernization of airborne command, surveillance, and electronic effects fleets offers a pathway to mature integration. Still, the road from appropriation to operational effect is rarely linear. The platform decision, new build versus conversion, engine choice, mission bay architecture, will shape life cycle costs and the speed of weapons integration. Certification timelines for sonobuoys, acoustic processors, and torpedoes will determine how quickly the fleet can move beyond surveillance into genuine ASuW prosecution. Training is a gating factor, producing acoustic operators and maintainers at a cadence that matches aircraft deliveries is essential if 2025 money is to translate into on-station hours a few years later. Sustainment must be planned from day one, with spares, test equipment, and depot-level capacity aligned to the tempo implied by persistent presence. Operationally, the payoff is tangible. With robust availability, Italy can maintain overlapping orbits in areas where diesel-electric boats are most likely to exploit bathymetry and commercial clutter. The patrol aircraft's sensors can sanitize approaches to critical energy infrastructure, validate or dismiss spurious cues quickly, and create a continuous thread of accountability for the submarines and surface craft that matter. That, in turn, stabilizes the decision environment. Surface combatants receive higher quality tracks, helicopters launch into better queuing, and deterrence benefits from the knowledge, shared publicly or privately, that hostile movement is more likely to be detected and classified before it reaches a place of leverage. For Rome, there is also a strategic narrative at work. Restoring a sovereign long-range patrol tier cements Italy's role as NATO's Mediterranean ISR hub and answers domestic questions about maritime risk in an era of contested infrastructure and intense migration pressures. It aligns defense industrial investments in mission systems, underwater robotics, and electronic effects with an operational centerpiece that will demand and reward innovation. And it sends a message about resilience. After several years of living with a known gap, the state is rebuilding the capability that turns surveillance into security and warning into action. In the end, M3A is less a discrete purchase than the organizing concept for a renewed maritime enterprise. 6 aircraft, tightly integrated with helicopters, surface forces, and a modern airborne C2/EW spine, can generate effects disproportionate to their number if the data flows, training pipelines, and sustainment foundations are built with the same urgency as the funding profile suggests. If Italy stays disciplined on integration and fielding, the Mediterranean's undersea and surface picture will become sharper, faster, and harder to exploit, exactly the environment a potential adversary dislikes, and exactly the advantage allies need.